Welcome back to the Webby and O'Neill channel. And when INEOS walked through the door, we were all screaming about him being ruthless with this Manchester United squad. But how ruthless should they be? Reports surrounding Kobbie Mainoo, Garnacho yesterday in The Athletic. Marcus Rashford's brother and agent Tony O'Neill is currently in Italy surrounding a possible move to AC Milan, plus other clubs as well. Get involved in the chat as usual, Reds, with your own opinions. And don't forget to leave a like on the video. The first place I do want to start, and that's Marcus Rashford.
Well, Rashford's agent's gone to Milan, having talks about a loan move. But the first thing what you've got to ask yourself and hope is that his agent, which is his brother, has spoken to United to facilitate this deal. He should have had conversations about loan move, possible buy at the end of the season. What are United going to facilitate this move? He should have that knowledge before he goes to Milan. In fact, before he goes anywhere, talking about moving Marcus Rashford on.
Yeah, other clubs as well. Borussia Dortmund have been mentioned. I've seen a report today that even Tottenham Hotspur might be willing to hold talks as well with Rashford's representatives.
Well, I look at the Milan one, for instance, and I think to myself, it's interesting. Is it viable? The article discusses him dislodging players there, but Marcus Rashford, he's not played for a while. He's not been training. He's been ill. Supposedly ill. So he's not fit as far as I'm concerned. So dislodging anyone, this player just not capable at the moment of dislodging anybody, can't even get in the United side and has not seemed interested in. I think it's very difficult to get Marcus Rashford on a loan deal at this moment. And I think we're going to struggle to do it, to be honest.
Yeah, he'd have competition at AC Milan as well with Rafael Leao, who I think's been injured recently, but I think he's back in the squad and back to full fitness. So he'd have a challenge there, dislodging some of their players. You know, he's not up for the fight and the challenge from what we all see as Manchester United fans currently here at Manchester United. But for me, we said many weeks ago that his position here at Manchester United is untenable, and it's best for both parties for him to move on. We always said as well it was more than likely it'd be a loan move in January till the end of the season. And if that does happen, let's hope that he does go over wherever he does go, whether it's Italy, Germany with Borussia Dortmund, or even stays here in the Premier League and starts producing goals. So in the summer, we're going to get a transfer fee from him, and a big one as well.
Well, the reason why I mentioned with his agent going over there, speaking to United, knowing what it is they want to be part of the deal to facilitate a move. And I think what it is, I think United would be asking for a loan move with a potential to buy and not sort of wait on Marcus Rashford to see if he pulls it off, any good form, scoring goals or anything like that. I think United would want to look at a loan move with the option to buy at the end of it. And I think that's the right strategy, because it's going to be very difficult for Marcus Rashford to get in his stride, to get his fitness up for any team, to be honest with you. The Dortmund one, for me, I think that's very strange. I mean, the article mentions Rashford's experience going over there to help the young players. Listen, I've said it many times. Marcus Rashford isn't interested in anybody else except himself. So I think the article sort of like spins a little bit there, as if to say, oh, Marcus, get over there. It'll be good for the young players in Dortmund. No, that's not what you want to hear. I think Rashford's experience for the last 2 years has told everyone inside United, and especially the fans, I've been critical of him. But when a player hasn't performed to the standards of what he has done years gone by, I think it's very hard to get that back. And I think Marcus Rashford is going to struggle no matter where he goes. But the priority is getting him out of the club. INEOS, they want to reduce that wage bill, and he is number one priority. Get him out no matter what. That's all us fans want to see, because he hasn't really produced for this shirt for quite a while, and he has undermined what this shirt means to everyone.
No, of course, we want players with the bare minimum committed to this club and committed on the pitch, and then we turn round and look at the quality, whether it's good enough, and then make decisions from there. He's basically said, Rashford, that he wants a new challenge, not played in the last 6 games. His position's untenable here, in my opinion, so let's try and get a deal done, hopefully, with Manchester United and a club out there.
Yeah.
What do you make about Kobbie Mainoo and this news surrounding Garnacho as well?
Well, when you look at Kobbie Mainoo, and the interest, what the article talks about, Chelsea have had a conversation. Don't know who the conversation's actually been with, but they're talking about Kobbie Mainoo as a someone who they'd like to sign, maybe down the line. But when you have a player like Kobbie Mainoo, there will always be interest from football clubs about young, good talent, and he has got the talent. The article does go on about Kobbie Mainoo not being in the side of Ruben Amorim on a regular basis. I think that's a little bit scary from the article, trying to sort of say there's a bit of a problem between Amorim picking him and everything else like that. It's not that. If you go back, Kobbie Mainoo came onto the scene then he was in, out, and then he got back in the team under Erik ten Hag. Next thing you know, he's playing for England. He has played a tremendous amount of football, and he has suffered for it at the start of the season. We all said that. He wasn't the Kobbie Mainoo of old, but now he seems to be picking it up. It's early days in the relationship with Kobbie Mainoo and Amorim. Amorim will be working with him. It's exactly what INEOS want when they came in. Amorim, Erik ten Hag, it doesn't matter. They want to bring in young players, work on young players, and Kobbie Mainoo is, I would say, the crown, the jewel in the crown of the young players what we've got at the moment, because he is a future star for Man United, and it's a matter of just working with him, getting him back, and he might have looked at it, the fitness and everything, Ruben Amorim, and sort of took him out from the starting 11, what everyone was expecting for him to be, but he was clearly drained and not up to the standard of what he set towards the end of last season. But things are coming back for him now. Always going to be interest in superstars, potentially, like Kobbie Mainoo.
Yeah, maybe it's a little bit of, from his agent negotiating a new contract. You can go back to September when Erik ten Hag was mentioning about Kobbie Mainoo's talent and the club in negotiations with his agent, and they've still been progressing. Maybe they're not there or thereabouts with the side of the agent of where they really want that contract to be per week with Kobbie Mainoo. And we've seen things like this even in the summer with Bruno Fernandes.
Yeah.
There was a lot of talk going on around with Fernandes in the summertime, possibly leaving. A lot of stuff coming out from his agent. And this thing just basically goes on in football, doesn't it? And especially with a player like Kobbie Mainoo. We've brought in Emmanuel Ugarte, who I think is an absolute perfect foil for Kobbie Mainoo, to let him do what he's best at on the football pitch. The defensive side, tracking back. Has he got that athleticism to get back when teams are on the break, counter-attacking? I'm not too sure yet, but we've got, like I say, a perfect player there, perfect foil in Ugarte, who I think then midfield too is strong enough to get Manchester United back up the league and in the next few seasons as well, while Kobbie Mainoo develops himself.
This team is changing, and it will be changing a lot in the summer, especially the summer. But when you look at partnerships, it's early days. It looks good at the moment. Things will change. Partnerships will change. That's fine. That's football. It's changing. But you look at Kobbie Mainoo, he will change. He will get better. And, it's early days. You don't get rid of your potential stars of the future. And I think this is just a story, like Kieron says, when contract negotiations come up, these stories, there's always going to be stories like this coming up. I don't take it seriously. It's someone Amorim can build a team round for the future. That's how I look at it. I'm not worried anything about Kobbie Mainoo in the near future.
For me, I think it's the actual people in the background at Manchester United who really like Kobbie Mainoo, not just the manager. I think it's the people in the background, and it's the people in the background who are setting the standards and also setting the style of play of what they want. And that's one of the reasons why Ruben Amorim come in, because the likes of Omar Barada wanted this 3-4-3 system or a 3-4-2-1 system. And if they think he's perfect for that system, Mainoo, I don't see him going anywhere. I just think it's a bit of a sticking point, maybe from the agent side, putting it out there to try and get that figure that he actually wants for his client. So I do expect something to be signed. But going on to Garnacho, we do think there'll be like a sacrificial lamb come the summer to raise some funds. And I think this is what it's all about as well. When you read the article in The Athletic about the PSR, and the problems Manchester United have got financially to generate funds to go out and buy players that, there will be one or two who will have to be sold. And for me, Rashford's one of them, but there will be another one, in my opinion, Garnacho, high ceiling in my opinion. Going through a bit of poor form recently, we can all see that. But I think the ceiling's there for him to improve even further, though, as a player under Amorim. Will they look to cash in on him in the summer?
Well, I look at Garnacho, and to be honest with you, I think the future's down to him. He's gone astray this season. I've said it many, many times throughout from the start of the season right up till last week. He's not performing as he was last year. He's dipped. You have to be on the ball here. If you want a permanent place as a young player, you have to fight every game. You have to get your head up. You have to pass the ball. You have to work hard. On and off the field, there is problems with Garnacho. Hopefully, Amorim, by pulling him the other week and dropping him against Manchester City out of the squad, I think it's clear he's had a kick up the backside and it's down to him. I think Ruben Amorim will look at him now, see if there's any change, see if he can improve him, see if he can get better things from him, and also check on his attitude, because young players do go astray, and clearly Garnacho has gone astray, especially off the field. So the future's down to him, and I think at the end of the season, you might get a clearer idea of where he fits into this team. You just don't know what's going to come through the ranks or what we're going to purchase. So in the summer, you're going to have to look at Garnacho and say to yourself, has he knuckled down? Because he clearly hasn't this season. Is he listening to Ruben Amorim? Has he improved from what the early days of this season have shown us? Only time will tell on that, but I just hope so. I thought to myself when he came on for the cameo role against City, for instance, he looked more professional. He looked more willing to do what he should be doing. So something might have clicked, but each game he comes on, he has to show it on there, and he clearly hasn't shown it on the basis of being an out-and-out top winger who's improving. He hasn't done that this year. So the conversation about Garnacho will always go on, because there is a feeling in the United fan base that his conversations and the way he's been acting, it's as though he's just preparing himself for a move anyway, whether it's to Spain or anything like that in the next 12 to 18 months possibly, as though he's using United as a springboard to go somewhere else and be the Garnacho, the young lad who thinks he can just stroll around. Well, he's getting a bit of a shock at the moment. You cannot stroll around. You aren't any good until you put it in on the pitch on a regular basis. And Garnacho hasn't. There's a talent there, a clear talent, but will it be wasted? Only time will tell on that.
Yeah, you talk about talent. You're talking about being a winger as well. I think the likes of Garnacho and these others there, who are going to find it harder to adapt to Ruben Amorim's system, unlike the likes of Kobbie Mainoo, because of the way he is a direct, attacking footballer. Whereas in that number 10 role, I think we've got probably better options currently, like with the likes of Bruno Fernandes and Ahmad, compared to Garnacho. I think Garnacho's got a lot of adapting to do in his actual game to see a regular place in this actual system under Ruben Amorim. And that, for me, only time will tell from now until the end of the season if he can actually adapt. If he can't adapt to the way the manager wants, no matter how much of a talent he is, no matter how much of an attacking threat he is, if he doesn't fit the system and he isn't as good as the other players and options that we've got currently available, or Amorim will want to sign in the summer, he will leave. And, that's got to be looked at with every single player in this football club, whether they can actually adapt to the actual system and perform on a weekly basis with the right attitude.
Well, what you would hope is that Garnacho sees a threat to his position and that he would fight harder now and that he would knuckle down, as if to say, people did have this sort of thing about him, that he had an attitude thinking, oh, I'm an automatic pick. I don't have to do this. I don't have to do that because there's no one there. Well, there is a problem. Under Ruben Amorim now, players look as though they're adapting to what Ruben Amorim wants, how he wants them to play. And there is a challenge there. So there is a threat. And what you want, you do want a threat to someone's place. You do want challenges. You don't want players walking into the team thinking, I'm an automatic pick. And I think that, for a young lad like Garnacho, has been the problem, where he's just swaggered into Manchester United thinking, I'm all right. Rashford's out of the scene. I can just walk in there because I will always be picked. But now there's a threat because the system, players, especially after the Liverpool game, I say it again, seem to have got there. And there's no letting up on the standard now. So Garnacho's got it all to do. There is a threat to him. No two ways about that. And that's what you want. So he's got to work hard and he's got to get that place. It's going to be very difficult.
Yeah, like I say, about adapting, you will want something different as well, depending on who you're coming up against, the opposition. And Garnacho will also give you that compared to the likes of Ahmad and Bruno Fernandes. We can all see the difference in style of plays there. So Amorim probably will want that, a difference in the squad, at times against opposition, whether that's coming on as a substitute or starting games. But I just think the best solutions and the best people the best people who are suited to his system at the moment in them 10 roles are Bruno Fernandes and Ahmad. So it's all about Garnacho working hard himself, taking in everything Amorim's saying like a sponge and adapting as well to what he wants. And it's about the attitude. We keep saying it, the culture. How long have we all been saying it for? It's about players adapting and listening and doing everything possible to improve themselves and improve where we currently are in the Premier League.
I look at the article about Kobbie Mainoo and Garnacho, and I think, to be honest with you, they use the financial situation, what's going on at United. We all know what's going on at United with the financial situation. It's nothing new. But I just look at it and it's like, to me, it's a bit of a scare story by throwing the financial thing in. We need to sell younger players. It's beneficial to sell homegrown players. So I think it's more of a scare story. And I think we're going to see lots more articles like this. Yes, Ornstein does do and The Athletic does do good reporting when it comes to United. But I think when they're throwing in the financial side of it, I think a lot of this article is sort of speculation as well about the futures of young players. And personally, I don't think it's anything to worry about because Amorim's got a job to do, and his job is to get these young players playing better and get United a settled side and bringing in a couple of players to make sure we're able to challenge in a few years. And these young players, for me and lots of United fans out there, these are players of the future. It's how they adapt. That's something different than what the article is.
Yeah, Garnacho contract 2008 runs out. Mainoo's 2027. I think them two definitely give him another year to see how they progress under Ruben Amorim for a full season as well. Get a pre-season down, everyone in the squad. Hopefully get some players in as well. And let's look and build on a stronger performance than what we probably are going to be doing this season. But for me, Marcus Rashford, his wages, that's going to be the sticking point. Can they negotiate something in INEOS with the loan move, whichever club he goes to, so they can just get him out the door? Let's get, a few months out of Marcus Rashford, hopefully performing well, and let's get a big transfer fee from him in the summertime, just similar to what they've done with Jadon Sancho. That's what gives me confidence. No one thought Jadon Sancho could be moved on from Manchester United because of his wages, his performance, but they got a deal done with Chelsea, and I fully expect him to get a deal done in the short term and the long term with Marcus Rashford's future. I'd just like to thank everyone for joining us today, getting involved in the chat. Just thought you'd do a bit of a brief overview on that latest news surrounding them three players. Anything that you do want to talk about, though, please get it in the comments section, and don't forget to leave a like on the video, as you know it's much appreciated. We'll be back tomorrow with another video, so you take care and we'll see you all soon. Thank you.
Thank you.